Hi, Harold. Hey, Johnny. Hello.
Hola, Mario.
¿Dónde estás? ¿En tu oficina?
Yeah.
Ah,
Hello, everybody.
hello. Before we start tomorrow at Young Israel,
Yes,
6:30.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We're on Chav
Yes.
Gimel. Hi, Aaron. Chav Gimel. Okay, so we're on. By the way, so everything worked out. Mark Shapiro. We just have a few more details.
Yeah.
We have to have a place for him to stay.
Right.
We'll talk. You and I will talk later. Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. Isn't it Chov Dalet?
Chav Gimel.
No.
Chav
No.
Gimel. 23. We learned 22 yesterday.
Okay.
We learned 21 and 22 yesterday. A is 23. Chav Gimel. So we had a Baraisa. Our Mishnah said that you should not do yichud with a behemoth and a non-Jew. And a Baraisa said you can buy animals from them for a korban. Now, if you can buy animals from them from a korban, obviously they've been having the animals in their home with them. So how do you clear up the stira? Ravina Amar Loi Kasha. Our Mishnah that says it's prohibited for you to leave an animal with a non-Jew in his carekeeping. That's l'chatchila. But b'di'evet, if you ended up doing it, we're not choishish that he did. L'chatchila, you shouldn't do yichud with them. But b'di'evet, if you did, we're not concerned necessarily that each animal that he had, he was roveya. Umenav tamer de shiny.
Oh, Walter.
Hello. Hey, Walter.
We're on Chav
Hello.
Gimel, near the top, 23. Bein l'chatchila, bein l'di'evet. Where do we see that there's a difference between l'chatchila b'di'evet? It's not. It says lo sisyached isha imahem. A Jewish woman should not have yichud with a non-Jew. We're suspicious that they're gonna sleep with her. Verminu. However, I'll show you a stira. The Mishnah Masechta Ksubis. Ha'isha shenech b'shabidei goyim. A woman who's been taken prisoner, captive by non-Jews, like by pirates. Now, ayidei mammon, if they were taken for ransom, they were kidnapped and they want to get money from the husband, muteris labayla. She can go back and live with her husband because we're not choishes that they had relations. Now, ayidei nefashos, if it was they were going to kill her, so then asur labayla, because she becomes hefker, and then she can't. And if he's, it certainly would be asur if the husband was a kohen. But even if the husband was not a Kohen, we suspect that maybe she was willing to go ahead and baratzon, and then if you commit adultery baratzon, not rape, you can't go back to your husband. So why do we say by Mammon she's mutter? Elalav shmamina shiny ben lachatchila ben l'di'evet. So the same thing that we said here by lechatchila, you don't want to do yichud with an animal, but if you did it, b'di'evet, it's okay. Same thing here. So the Gemara says, "Mimai, there's no riot. Dilma lo'olam emelacha, I feel nami. Even b'di'evet, if they ended up doing yichud with the animal, we also won't matir. Or even by a woman, we won't be matir. V'hacha hainu taima. Why can she go back to live with her husband? He's restricting himself from raping this woman that she captured because he's going to lose. He doesn't want to have damaged goods. He wants to get full price. And if the husband suspects that she's damaged goods, he won't pay the highest ransom. So the goy has a incentive to stay away from her. And Teda, that's correct. Diktani Seifa. It says because there he doesn't care. And the Vesulo Midi, that's good raya. Now, Rav Padas Omar, different resolution between the steer and our Mishnah where we are choishish l'revia, where you're not allowed to lechatchila leave an animal with a goy, versus the Baraisa where you can buy an animal from a goy and offer it as a korban. Loi kasha, our Mishnah, which Aser is Rabbi Eliezer, and the Baraisa is Rabbona. What is this? This not. Poras chatos, a paraduma. Rabbi Eliezer oimer, eina nikchitz min hagoyim. If you find a paraduma by the goyim, it doesn't help you. You can't buy it from them. The chachamim matirin. The chachamim permit. My lava hakamiflagi. Perhaps this is a Tanaitic machloikas. Rabbi Eliezer suffer chayshin l'revia. Why does Rabbi Eliezer say you can't buy this paraduma from the non-Jew? Because we're chayshish l'revia, that he had relations with it. Rabban and Savi lo chayshin l'revia. So the Gemara says, "Mimai, there's no proof." Dilma kol am lo chayshin l'revia. Perhaps everybody holds that we're not chayshish that the non-Jew is going to live with the animal. So what's the point of the machloikas between Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim? Hacha hainu taimat. Rabbi Eliezer ke Rabbi Yehuda Amarav. Rabbi Eliezer holds like Rabbi Yehuda Amarav. Rabbi Yehuda Amarav. Hiniach alein oida shel sakin. If he had placed on the back of a paraduma a pack of bags, even though they were empty, posla. You're not allowed to work a paraduma because it says asher lo Allah aleha ol. You can't put a yoke. So any kind of work would passel a paraduma. Uve egla. Now by an egla rufa, it does become passel achatim shachba. You have to sort of lead it with a yoke. It's not just putting it back on its back. Because it says asher lo mashcha ba'ol. Now why? Mar Savar, Rabbi Eliezer, who said that you're not allowed to buy paraduma from an non-Jew, chayshinon, that maybe the goy did some work with it, and that's why he asers. Umar Savar lo chayshinon. So the Gemara rejects this approach as well. Lo salkedaita. That doesn't make any sense. That we're choishish that maybe he put some burden on the animal. Shemicha Porta, Lo Mafsid Tuva. Even the Goyim knew that a paraduma was worth a lot of money. He's not going to do something stupid by putting something very light on the back of an animal and ruin all his money. So the Gemara says, Achanami Leima, Mishumana Porta Lo Mafsid Tuva. So even about the ones that were choishish, that maybe the owner had relations with the animal, he knows as well that having relations with the animal is gonna be damaged goods, and because of a little hana during sexual relations, he's gonna give up all that money. He's not gonna do that. So the Gemara rejects that. No, when it comes to Yetzer Hara of arayas of sex, awesome Yitzra Tokvo, he doesn't calculate. Oh, he's gonna lose a lot of money, even for a short period of hana. So maybe the Gemara says, "V'dilma d'kulam aloi chayshin on the revia." We could still say that perhaps everybody holds we're not choishish l'revia. What's the machlokas between Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim? Hacha ainu taima. The Rabbi Eliezer kidded Tani Shila, the Tani Shila. My time at Rabbi Eliezer. Why did Rabbi Eliezer say that you may not buy a paraduma from a non-Jew? Shenema. Daber bnei Yisrael v'yichoi lecha fara aduma. Bnei Yisrael yikhu. Ve'en hagoyim yikhu. You can buy from a Jew, but you can't buy from a goy. Versus lo salkedaitach. That means the Tani Seifa, the brisa of that, the Seifa of that very brisa says, "V'cheinai Rabbi Eliezer poisel b'chol hakorbanos kulon." Rabbi Eliezer prohibited you from buying any animal from a non-Jew to use for a korban, not just the paraduma. V'isa gedaitach kedetani. And if you want to say it's because of the reason of Shilah, because of Yisrael and not the Bishma Park Siv Bolosh and Kicha. So fine, it says v'yikhu elecha. So there it says you should buy. You can only buy from a Jew. Elakulu korbanos. Does Kicha? It doesn't say you have to buy a korban from somebody. It says you have to bring a korban. And maybe the Gemara says this is the machlokas. Dilmad kan lo pligi rabbona led Rabbi Eliezer. Perhaps Rabbi Eliezer, the Chacham don't argue with Rabbi Eliezer regarding paraduma el b'parsha damei yikarin. You know what? It's there that they argue that we're not choishish l'revia. You know why? It's very expensive, and they understand that because of the financial loss, he's going to stay away from the animal. Maybe by other kabbalas, the Chacham will agree to Rabbi Eliezer that you can't buy an animal from a goy because he's going to have relations with it. There's no such big financial loss that's going to disincentivize him from sleeping with the animal. I'm teaching Daf Yomi now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll call you back. I'll call you back. Thank you. Thank you. Elahadatanya loichid mehem behema lekorban. The Brisa says you may buy an animal from the goyim for a korban. So money. Lo karab lezer v'lo rabbanan. So if it's true that by shar korbanos, the Chacham are going to agree to Rabbi Eliezer that since there's no financial disincentive, he's going to sleep with it. So how come the Baraisa says you can buy an animal from a goy for a korban? It's going to come out, it's not Rabbi Eliezer, it's not Rabbanan, so who is it? So Tanya Ba'adei, my usfilei chavroi Rabbi Eliezer. What did the Chachamim answer to Rabbi Eliezer? It says, Kol tzon kedar yikbetzulach, yalu al ritzon mizbechi. It's a befershtik pasuk in Yeshaya that says that even animals of goyim can be brought up as a korban. And in general, in a chanami, the chachamim don't make a distinction between paradum and the korbanis. Just in this case, it says in a pasuk, therefore it overrides the worry. Okay. Ad kan loy pligi ela b'chashasha. So there's a chashash in the paraduma. We don't know if the goy had relations with it. If we know for sure that the animal slept with it, pasla, then certainly the animal would be pasla. Shmamina para kachim izbechi. So the question is para aduma considered kache berekabayis, something that you just donate to the base of Mikdash, not necessarily is going to be brought up as a korban, or even though you don't bring up the paraduma like a korban, it's considered like kodesh mizbech, where kodesh mizbech are prohibited if you sleep with it. By a nearby, if an animal was nearby, you could donate to the Bedek Abayis. So the fact that you're puzzling a paraduma, you've proved that a paraduma is considered kodesh mizbech. The kodesh Bedek Abayis mi mifsala baravia. If you're donating something to the base of Mikdash for temple upkeep, the fact that someone slept with the animal doesn't. So the Gemara says shiny para, the aduma is different. That in a chanami, it's not kodesh mizbech. It's considered pochek berek abayis. But chatos kari rachmona, it's called chatos he. So there's a certain din korban, like a chatos, which makes it possible berevia. Elameatov, that's how you're going to learn. Ti possible biyotzei dofen. That means if an animal was born by a cesarean section, didn't have a normal birth. So korban chatas cannot be used. So maybe you should invalidate a paraduma that was born through sections. Now, if you're going to say yes, you're correct. Al matani, why does it learn a brisa? Higdisha biyotzei doifen. If he was magdish an animal to be paraduma and it's cesarean psula, but Rav Shimon machshir. So Rav Shimon obviously doesn't hold of this concept that it has to be treated like a kodesh mizbech because of the word chatas. So maybe you'll tell me v'chitem Rav Shimon l'tamei. Maybe you'll tell me Rav Shimon has his own reasons. For example, he says the Omar by a isha yoledes yotzei dofen vlad ma'ayu. A child born by cesarean section is a regular vlad. Regarding tumma, for her to sit, how many days tumma that she has to bring a korban. And v'amar Rav Yochanan moed Rabbi Shimon leinin kodshim she'ena kodesh. But Rabbi Yochanan has said beferish that Rabbi Shimon, when it comes to animals of cesarean, it does not become kodesh. So perhaps paraduma is different because of this issue. Ella shiny para hoyelu mum poiselba. Since by paraduma, if it has a blemish, it's possible dvar erva, even if someone had relations with it, or Avodah Zara, if someone worshipped the animal, nami poiselba, it's considered a mum, and it validates it. Receive ki mashchasam bahem mum ba. If it has a mum, it can't be used as a korban. So since there's some sad hashchasa, it's psula for korban like a balas mum. V'tanit Rabbi Shmuel. Komakam shenemar hashchasa, right? Ki moshchasam hashchasa eino el dvar erva avodah zara. It refers to sexual immorality of avodah zara. Dvar erva dechsiv ki yishchis kol basar ester kol haaretz by Noach. That what sealed the verdict in the time of Noach was that there was no boundary between who slept with who. Avodah zara dechsiv pentash chisun v'asisalem pesa. So avodah zara is the word hashchasa. So v'haparnami hoylu mum paisel ba dvar erva avodah zara pasli ba. So since we assessed that a mum will pasel avodah zara, will pasel the paraduma, a dvar erva avodah zara will also pasel. Period. Gufa. We mentioned the Baraisa in our discussions. We're going to go into it in detail. Tani Shila. My time at Rabbi Eliezer, who said that you cannot buy a paraduma if you find one by goyim. You can only buy from a Jew, not from a goy. Well, if that's the case, what, that you cannot buy truma from produce from a goy and bring it to the Beis Hamikdash. We'll show that we can. And this is a famous story regarding David ben Nesina. And we're going to save this for tomorrow because it begins a whole famous Haggadah. And we'll do this tomorrow. So we're going to learn tomorrow at 6:30 at Young Israel of Hancock Park. And and then we'll talk about, and probably Sunday we'll learn at 7:00 p.m., followed by Sefer Daniel at 8 p.m.
But it's Yom Tov.
Sunday,
fast
Sabbath Tammuz. How you
Oh,
gonna do
Bas
It's a
Rabbi
fast day. Yeah.
Mincha is at 7:40 or 7:45.
So Daniel at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Now, how you gonna do that? The fast is only out at like 8, close to
Yeah.
the fast is out late.
Why don't you learn in the afternoon?
Well, I think the daf we can learn in the afternoon. Yes.
Yeah.
The daf we can learn in the afternoon.
Okay, what time?
Sefer Daniel, maybe we can do Monday night.
Yeah.
We'll move it from Sunday night this week to Monday night at 8:00. We'll do the
Better.
daf at 7 and do the Navi at 8 for Monday night only. You can already let people know, Mario.
Okay.
the
All
schedule.
right.
Let's do the daf at 5:00 Sunday, 5 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Shabbat shalom.
Okay.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Yeah,